wanted to do a video today, guys, on a chapter in my book I wrote about the book of life called World Relations. And, you know, when I first started my self-help and self-education journey after I graduated college as an all-honor student, there was only 4 mentors at the time. 2 of them I don't follow because I understand they're just out to fill their pockets. They only care about money. They don't care about actual, legacy or actually helping people or actually, their intentions are not pure or based, they're just trying to fill their emptiness, get more money. And there's so many more forms of power besides money. I mean, look at Mark Zuckerberg. He donated all of his money when he had a child and he actually woke up to life. And that there's more besides himself, what, love truly is. And a lot of parents, a lot of people have to have a child first before they can become selfless and start to see humanity and life for what it really is and connect to the vibration of love, connect to, giving and service. They have to have a kid first. And that's exactly what happened to Mark Zuckerberg, and he donated 99.9% of his funds, but he's still one of the most powerful people. Steve Jobs was one of the most Jesus didn't even have $1 in his pocket, but he was one of the most powerful people. Martin Luther King was one of the most powerful people. John F. Kennedy, oh my God, the guy took us to the fucking moon. You watch a video of John F. Kennedy and Yo-Yo Ma. Yo-Yo Ma was 7 years old playing a cello, and a lot of people are like, what does Yo-Yo Ma have to do with, the Rockefellers or the Rothschilds or these, some of these other families? Well, Yo-Yo Ma was playing at John F. Kennedy's, one of his evenings, on television where the president comes on and they're eating and all that good stuff. Yo-Yo Ma was playing, and one of John F. Kennedy's, somebody from his cabinet, I don't know his name, he stands up there though in front of the television to all of the people around the world. He goes, "This is a demonstration of union and oneness. We are all one on the inside. What did Mark Zuckerberg and Steve Jobs and corporate powerhouses go to India for?" Steve Jobs was in India for years and told Mark Zuckerberg to come, and when Mark Zuckerberg finally did, he comes back and Facebook goes, "What were they studying in India?" They were on a spiritual retreat. I had in my other videos, my other studio, I had a spiritual tarp of all the chakras. And this is not Buddhism. Buddhism is a religion. It's Christianity. They're all religions. This is outside of religion. This is awakening. This is consciousness. What does that mean? This is an unadulterated power. Let me repeat that. This is an unadulterated power. This is an unadulterated awakening and consciousness. What do I follow religiously? The vibration of love. What do I follow religiously? Infinite life. All of life that has the Holy Spirit, or I call it infinite life, flowing through it. That's what I follow religiously. That's not adulterated. It doesn't have a name. It doesn't have a religious figure behind it. Man hasn't come in and changed the natural vibration of life. Go study the 12 universal laws of the universe. These are not adulterated. This is how life works. Albert Einstein was really studying the science of life. Bob Proctor is studying the science of life. Napoleon Hill was studying the science of life. Think and Grow Rich. These are unadulterated. I follow and study the science of life. I would not even call it science because people hear the word science and they automatically freak out. But I study the facts, the unchanging, unwavering patterns. That's what science is. They go into a laboratory and they study it so much to where you would be a fool on drugs or tweaked out to deny what they found in their scientific studies, because they do so many studies over and over again. It's a 99.9 repeating almost 100% chance. And then they do it again, and then it becomes 100%. And this is what, when I say I study the science of life, the 12 universal laws have not changed since life was here. And this is how the stock market goes like this. This is how billionaires become billionaires when the stock market crashes. They understand the laws of the universe, the law of polarity, the law of cause and effect, the law of attraction, the law of vibration. And people now are awakening more than ever. And people are becoming aware that they can reprogram their own subconscious mind, that the subconscious mind is generating hundreds of thousands of thoughts every single day that is deciding your emotions. And it takes 21 days. It doesn't happen overnight. And then it takes 90 days, some say 60 days, to then create a new reality with your new software that you have in your subconscious mind. And psychologists are finally starting just to understand this I've been practicing this for almost a decade now. And now we have thousands of so-called self-help gurus popping up that just graduated high school and want to become famous. And I'm not saying this to condescend or brag. I'm saying this for credibility. Because when I truly believe to judge a tree by the fruits it bears. You know, when I was a child, before the internet, people actually checked, for credibility. What have you accomplished? And there is one family that owns all of the media. They pay for all the politicians. And let me tell you this, they have their pockets, their wallets, blood deep in George Bush, the second's election. Telecom, the media was sponsoring George Bush. And let me tell you, they don't give a fuck if you're a Democrat or a Republican. Either way, they're paying for you. They control all of the politicians. And you want to tell me that George Bush stands there and gives a speech on top of the buried bodies that his sponsors had just buried thousands of innocent lives, and he has the audacity to stand there and give a speech that he's going to go invade this country. 50,000 troops from all over the world go to this one country for oil, for money, for oil. This one family that owns all of the politicians, all of the media. They make an entire airplane disappear with little kids. Little kids and families, innocent lives. There was 4 people on the Malaysian aircraft that had patents to end-of-the-world technology. All 4 of their names were on this one patent. There was one other person's name on that patent. The same family that owns all of the media, all the politicians, their name was on this patent. That was on the Malaysian aircraft. There was 4 other people's names that were on this patent for end-of-the-world high-grade technology. And this airplane just disappears. And what does the news do? They don't even talk about this. There was 14 people on that airplane that all were Pentagon employees. But the media doesn't talk about this. I wonder why. The media doesn't talk about this. Could it be because the same family that made that airplane disappear is the same family that's telling them what to say on their teleprompters? I'm not saying all of the news reporters are corrupt. Most of them are naive to what I'm saying right now. The other half are just cowards. And because of the internet, we now have journalists that are preaching the truth, journalists that are trying to unite and get the truth out there. They're being killed. And then what does the propagated media want to call it? Fake news. I wonder why it's called fake news if you're having to kill them in Europe and other parts of the country for putting out the truth that the media is not saying. And what do they want to do? Talk about the bad weather all day while they're sitting there with their hands blood deep, starting wars, killing children, innocent lives so they can have more. Do you know how much gold these families have in the reserves? And what do they do when they get more and more gold? They print off more banknotes, and we're left paying off the debt. Money is just debt. And they have trillions of dollars in gold. They don't have billions, they have trillions. And there's 2 vibrations in love. There's love and life are the same thing to me. And I cross my arms because it really upsets me, guys. And I'm really passionate about this. And there's two vibrations in life. Okay, you study spirituality and you study the mind and physics. You study physics and the mind long enough, you understand there's two emotions or vibrations in life. There's love and there's fear. We probably all heard of the study where they put a bunch of rice in a jar and they played a very bad negative or fearful frequency and the rice started to decay. They played a 528 miracle vibration or frequency that all of life, even the rainbows, vibrates on 528 hertz. All of the animals, all of the trees, 432 hertz too, the miracle frequencies. And they played 528 hertz in this incident, and the rice came back to life. Life is the key word. It came back to life. After the oil spill in the Gulf, we all heard of, they dropped these top level, top tier, scientists. They drop an instrument into the water that's vibrating 528 hertz. And the very next day, dolphins and turtles and sea life came back to where it was just polluted with oil. This is the frequency that the prophet Jesus used to cure miracles, and that is hundreds of millions of people around the world are listening to these miracle and love frequencies of life that John Lennon would, the moment he tried to put it in his music. Why was Martin Luther King and Abraham Lincoln assassinated? Why was Jesus killed? Especially, Martin Luther King and Abraham Lincoln were doing one thing, guys. Uniting. Union. They were uniting the people together. But what is the agenda of this one family that owns all of the media and the politicians? What is their agenda? To divide and conquer. Because if people are divided with all of these dogma masks, I am American, I am French, I am Japanese, I am Chinese, I am Catholic, I am Christian, I am Buddhist, I am black, I am white. What happens when Martin Luther King comes and says, no, these are all dogma masks, guys. We must focus on the inside, who we truly are. Who we truly are on the inside, we are all brothers and sisters. Martin Luther King was way ahead of his times. Because what is this whole awakening and spiritual movement that's going on that a lot of people, especially older generations, sit there and just, mock or whatnot when it's $1 trillion industry now. It's people are awakening, and if you're not awakening, you're going to be left in the past. It's not mockery now. People are starting to understand, because when people are afraid, what does fear originate from, right? Because everything in life starts with your mind and your thoughts, and then that directs your energy and your vibration, correct? Right? This is very advanced physics and psychology that's now being practiced, like I said, by billionaires, the most powerful people alive on the planet. Understand this. And that's the key word, understand. So where does the vibration and energy come from? Thoughts of love and understanding. When you understand something, you don't just know 1 + 1 = 2. You understand why. You don't know that 5 cubed, is 125. Okay? You understand why. And these are the two vibrations in life, and these are the two psychological roots of these emotions. Ignorance. When you don't understand something, you're afraid of it. Why does a dog bark at different things behind a wall? It's afraid. You walk up to that dog. I could see the biggest pit bull or the biggest Doberman Pinscher barking at me, all scared. But if you walk up to it, no matter how big or mean it may look, you just walk up to it and say, hey, hey puppy. Hey girl, hey boy, it's going to love you. Give it some love. Why were people afraid of all the Mexicans that were crossing over into Arizona at first? They didn't understand the Hispanic people. They didn't understand that their jobs were not at risk. They didn't know. They didn't understand. When people don't understand or know something, what do? They're left in the dark. And they become afraid. When you're in the dark, of course you're afraid. Just like when you're a child and you can't see. Okay, you have to see beyond the five senses, right? This is what awakening is. And that's what I was trying to get at earlier. This is what the whole awakening movement is. We're getting people to embrace their true selves from within. We are all 400 trillion to 1 miracles. We all have completely unique characters from within, values and habits and individual strengths that we all have that are unique. We all have unique talents and unique gifts. And we're all at our own individual level of maturity and life experience. These are things that make us unique from within. And whatever is happening on the inside is going to vibrate out to the outside, and it's going to attract back to you just like a magnet. We have enough energy in our hands to light up an entire city. And this is what one family all understands. But if this one family can divide and conquer, if this one family can brainwash your subconscious mind, then what do they have? They have a puppet. They have control over you. They have another puppet that they can control and another dollar sign. And this is what people mean when they say the rat race or the matrix. This is exactly what the matrix is. And the subconscious mind, it takes 21 days to change your paradigms and your habits. People on the internet now, guys, people are awakening to what the billionaires and Mark Zuckerberg and Steve Jobs went to India for. This is about to blow your mind. What was the motto or the slogan of this spiritual India retreat that's completely closed off? People are trying to fly drones over it and figure out what the fuck did Steve Jobs learn. This is what he learned. There was one motto and slogan that was preached by I don't want to call him a pastor or give him a religious, dogma mask or a label. But let's call him a guru, okay? The spiritual guru in India at this retreat had one simple, very basic slogan. All is one, or all one. And then they branched all of their other teachings and their philosophies based on this one ideal. And this is how millionaires and billionaires become what they are, because they're on this higher conscious where they're living from within. They've embraced their true self. Not an egotistic dogma mask. They're not in an ego-buddy relationship where they're just using each other and they're always butting heads. They're not in an ego-buddy relationship. Millionaires and most billionaires that ethically have earned their income, not by cheating, which unfortunately is the majority nowadays, they are attuned to this. The most powerful billionaires and people are attuned to this. And if you listen to Tony Robbins, he doesn't go very deep, of course, but this is what they're all preaching. The seniors of self-help, Bob Proctor, this is what he's teaching. That you need to embrace your true nature, that we have higher faculties that no other creature has. Perception, intuition, willpower, free will, imagination, reason, perspective and memory, all of these faculties that no other creature or animal has. We have the ability to reprogram our subconscious mind and our thoughts. We have the ability to learn from our life experiences and grow from them. Not just be conditioned, but actually think and learn from our life experiences and keep growing and evolving in our maturity. We are the highest form of life, and this is such a gift. I'm not condescending animals, but I'm saying how much you have to love about yourself and appreciate and respect. And this is what these people practice. They embrace their true individuality from within, what makes them unique as a 400 trillion wonder miracle, and then they understand how energy works. They understand how the subconscious mind and the mind works. And this is when they awaken and they create their own life. They propagate or they design their own life. You know, the movie Avatar, the movie Inception, the movie Titanic, they all came from lucid dreaming. The guy who made Avatar and Titanic, he was in a lucid dream. Terminator, all of these big blockbusters, lucid dreams. And the movie Inception is not off from the truth at all. And what happens when somebody arises like Jesus and these prophets that threatens, though, the Matrix or the rat race, that's all controlled and owned by one family? And I truly hope this video allows people to see the media, all of the television, the news, and truly helps people have a higher conscious or more perspective, because that's what the Creator's conscious is. It's the all-knowing and all-aware conscious. But people now, where we're at as a society, if you study the 12 universal laws, everything is going up and down, but overall, life is expanding towards, it's always growing. Life is always evolving, with or without you. And if you're not evolving with life, you're going to be depressed and you're going to be dead. And that's a different video. But we, as an overall humanity, despite what the media wants you to think, that you're all alone, and the media wants you to be, the media and the news is spreading ignorance, which we understand now is fear. And the media, despite what, if you go to YouTube and see the hundreds of millions of lives that are being changed by these miracle frequencies and diseases that are being cured, hundreds of millions of people watching subliminal messages reprogram their subconscious mind in a positive way. If you go to Facebook, there's more people that like positive messages, the power of positivity, love, true love, forgiveness, empathy. People love these, like or are interested in these topics on Facebook more than all of the news media channels combined. But yet, of course they don't talk about it. But when you start to awaken and understand of all how powerful and how perfect we are as this overall global society right now, all the diseases around the world that are being cured, we are at the peak of perfection. And what does that mean? We are now more, our awareness and our conscious is now closer to the Creator's conscious than it ever has. Now, will we ever get to where we're more? No, of course not. But we are there almost to where we are that awakened. We are that aware of all of life and energy in the mind, the DNA, excuse me, a psychologist that specializes in the brain said it perfectly. Our thoughts create our neural paths. Oh my God. Oh my God. Our thoughts create our neural paths. Our thoughts create the physical world. What a backwards society the Matrix has built. What a backwards dogma mask society the Matrix has built. So many people living in the flesh like a bunch of animals. Our thoughts create our neural path. Our thoughts are exactly how people are changing their eye color, the size of their lips, growing taller through subliminal affirmations and messages. And I wonder what the fuck they're putting in our children's TV shows. Oh my God. Go look up the swirl, guys. There's a reason there's a random swirl on the freeway, a random swirl before you walk into the bathroom. And yet, people are going to watch this entire video, and people don't like change. But change is life. A tree is always evolving. Stock market is going down and up, but it's still evolving. And if you are not evolving, right, if you do not have a vision of growth, of who you want to become as a unique individual, you are dying. Whatever is not growing or changing is dying. And this is why so many people are depressed and suicidal now. We're going from every 40 seconds to every 20 seconds, somebody is going to take their life in the world. And why is that? Let me tell you why. I just told you why. So many people now are hiding behind their dogma mask. So many people now haven't discovered their true selves. They haven't discovered how the creative mind works. They haven't discovered how energy and consciousness works. They haven't discovered and understand how vibration and the law of attraction and the subconscious mind work. And when you haven't discovered your true self, you have no life purpose. But when you discover your true self, you understand how to create with the mind and how energy works. Oh my God, you connect with life that is evolving and you have a vision of who you are becoming. Oh my God, you are happy every day, you are fulfilled, you are joyful. And this is how, guys, you awaken. This is how you become conscious, okay? I'm going to wrap up this video. And do not, guys, be brainwashed. Do not be a puppet. You were not born a puppet. You were born free with free willpower. You were born with the same powers as the Creator. Are you more powerful? No. You were created in the Creator's highest image. But people that are living in the flesh, they automatically think, oh, we must be our body. Oh my God. Oh my God. Please, guys, can we get some can we get some help for the monkey brains? Can we get some help to the monkey see, monkey do people that are still out there? We were created in the Creator's, and I'm not condescending, guys. I'm speaking the truth, and if you can't handle the truth, if that hurts your insecurity, that's your problem, not my problem. And once again, I'm going to speak the truth from my heart, and I'm not going to censor it. And being created in the Creator's highest image is exactly that. Self-image. Go look up self-image. It's all in your mind. It's all on the inside. We are spiritual beings having a physical experience. So now people, wow, oh my God, we were created in the Creator's highest image. This means all of His higher faculties, imagination, creative powers, the creative power. Wow. And we have our own unique individual self that is different from Jesus and the Creator. But why would the Catholic Church, oh my God, the Catholic Church was the most power-hungry institution that ever existed. Go look up the Catholic Christian Crusades. Look up do some history that's not taught in school on the Catholic Church. Oh my God, the same Catholic Church that the United States hierarchy of politicians walk alongside. And I wonder why they don't want you to know how to create. I wonder why they don't want you to know how you can reprogram your subconscious mind. I wonder why they don't want you to discover your true self and to discover that we're all connected, we're all brothers and sisters through the vibration of love and light. I wonder why. Guys, I had the privilege, I'm going to close out on this last point. Really think about this. You know, I had the privilege to live in Mexico for a year. Half a year in the ghettos of Mexico. And it really taught me street smarts. Not just book smarts where you sit there and memorize a bunch of numbers and you become a repeat and a robot. But it taught me street smarts. How to think. How to really, really think. Not just mental activity where I'm memorizing numbers, but I mean actually thinking. Being alive, not being a robot. It taught me how to street smarts. And this is what Albert Einstein, I had a poster in my other setup. I wanted to make a little more personal setup in this video. Got my suitcase there. But this is what Albert Einstein said. The educational system is supposed to teach people how to think, not how to memorize information. Because when you think, you understand. And when you understand something, you love it. And not only do you love something when you understand it, but it allows you to create. It allows you, if you understand the whole alphabet, you're sitting there, okay, well, we can connect Z to A and B to Q. And wait a moment, Q and B can connect to A and B, and we can switch this around. But when you just memorize it, you just go A, B, C, D, E, F, G. We have to understand life. We have to understand the mind. We have to understand ourself. Like I said, that's my last point, guys. It's a very powerful closing point to think about. And I wish you all the very best, guys. I truly hope this video allowed and allows for a lot of people to wake the fuck up from the Matrix, the rat race, whatever you want to call it, being a puppet, being a scapegoat. And I wish you all the very best from the bottom of my heart. And I truly love every single one of you. We are all is one.